Oh, where do I begin? All right. Um, shout out to my man D Nice. Shout out to my man Tim. It's the weekend, right? And man, I didn't expect to see something like this. I don't even know where to start. But I have to start somewhere, right? So everyone and their mama is talking about this one. So, I mean, you're not gonna get any rant from me because Phil Spencer has been with Xbox. Phil Spencer has been with Xbox for a very long time. I think I think he started in 1998. So, and he was also part of the team um, that helped bring forth Microsoft's first Xbox console. I want to say it was like 1990. I know it was in the 80s because I was born in 81, and you know um, I did read up on some of the well, history and biography of Phil Spencer, but I want to say it's 1998. Correct me if I'm wrong. Um, so I mean, the guy's been there forever. So hearing about him retiring shouldn't be no surprise to anyone at this point. Now, the big one that I'm looking at here is Sarah Bond. So, she was just recently promoted as head of Xbox. So, what's what is really going on here? Because this is out of the blue. And it says Matt Booty has been promoted as Microsoft AI. So Matt Booty, this doesn't make sense. Matt Booty promoted as Microsoft AI exec. Oh, okay. So there's no comma there. So Matt Booty promoted as Microsoft AI executive, and Asha Sharma named new Xbox boss. I do not know who that individual is, but hey, wow, it's been very very interesting for the past several weeks. I heard about Blue Point Games getting the axe on the PlayStation side or Sony side, and now we have this. Now, I like to live by a philosophy where I don't jump out the window. I just sit back and watch, right? Let's just sit back and watch and see what happens. Now, I'm going to mention it again, okay? I was told that I didn't know what I was talking about when it came to Game Pass in day one. How Xbox was competing against itself when they did that. And we all know how that turned out, right? It doesn't take a genius to figure out what was going to happen. And we had a lot of diehards of like, hey, yeah. It's going to survive. It's going to do this. It's going to do that. So I'm like, okay, great. All right, let's just sit back and watch. there was a live stream that I did. Um, I think I put out a challenge, and I said if I want to, I want to say I said if Phil Spencer retires within the next 5 to 10 years, I want to say 5 to 10. I have to find that live stream. I have to find it. I'm pretty sure it shouldn't be that hard to find. And and I believe I mentioned that I would buy 10 people the next Xbox if Phil Spencer did not retire within the next 5 to 10 years. Right now, it's been 6 years. Well, I have to go back. I have to go back and find that live stream and see what year I made that challenge, so that so everything lines up. I'm a little tired. It is 12:31 in the morning, so I'm up. So, and this is very interesting. So I'm just gonna turn this up and let's see. Oh, let's listen to. Oh man, what's going on here? And then I'm just gonna give my thoughts on what um, I think may have happened.
Coming here in today's gaming news, and a shocking discovery, Phil Spencer is retiring from Xbox and Sarah Bond is resigning. Ubisoft reveals 2 Far Cry games are in development and promises the Splinter Cell remake is still happening, while Nintendo is bringing back a pair of classic Pokemon games. Whew, this is your daily fix.
Splinter Cell. Let's go, baby.
Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer, who's been at Microsoft since he joined as an intern in 1988 and with Xbox since the software giant launched its first console in 2001, is retiring. This is according to sources familiar with the matter, who are not authorized to speak publicly, confirmed to IGN. Ryan McCaffrey had the exclusive story. Spencer's retirement is effective on Monday, February 23rd. Meanwhile, Xbox President Sarah Bond, long thought by many both.
Oh my. Well, I do have one person here. What's up, man? I haven't spoken to you in a long time. Yeah, long time no speak, man. This is bananas, right? I'm gonna play it so that we can finish listening to it. I know you probably have already seen other podcasters give their thoughts and their opinions. I haven't. I just got this news not too long ago from D Nice and my boy Tim, because I was upstairs, trying to get a platinum trophy, and I was like, nah, this can't be true. And so I was like, you know what? Since I'm up, everybody's asleep. Not too many people are going to come in here and watch me talk about this. I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and do a live stream. And, it'll be posted for anyone who wants to watch tomorrow. So I'm not going to be going to sleep anytime soon. This here is nuts. This is bananas. Let's finish watching, man. Because I haven't heard or read anything. I just came down here to do this live stream. So let's
inside and outside of Microsoft to be Spencer's heir apparent has resigned. The new CEO of Microsoft Gaming will be Asha Sharma, currently the president of Microsoft's Core AI product. Sharma is a former VP of Product and Engineering at Meta and former Instacart COO who is also a board member of the Home Depot. She joined Microsoft in 2024. In her email to Microsoft staff, she wrote, in part, "My first job is simple. Understand what makes this work and protect it. That starts with 3 commitments. First, great games. Everything begins here. We must have great games beloved by players before we do anything. Second, the return of Xbox. We will recommit to our core Xbox fans and players, those who have invested with us over the past 25 years, and to the developers who build the expansive universes and experiences that are embraced by players.
Wait. Hold on. All right. So Phil Spencer is retiring effective next week, Monday. That's insane. We're gonna break this down. So unless there was a board meeting where, because if you remember way back when, right? What's his name? The president of Microsoft. I forgot his name. Sadala or Nadala. I don't know. He was going to scrap Xbox from the Xbox One generation. What happened there? Moving forward, they were going to scrap it, right? And then he brought on Phil Spencer. Well, Phil Spencer pretty much pitched, hey, here's what we need to do, etc., etc. So Xbox was given another chance. Okay, great. Xbox is not going nowhere. Let's make it happen. Now, way back when, I'm going to mention it again. Okay? Oh my. When Xbox mentioned Game Pass, myself and one of my, yes, thank you, Satya Nadella, Nadella, Mandela, whatever, right? we all know the story. We know the story. Okay, I'm just gonna try to sum it up best I can. But anyways, when Xbox came out with Game Pass, when they announced Game Pass, I'm thinking to myself, my homie Tim is thinking to himself too, because we're having a conversation. I'm like, okay, it's just another subscription service. Great, right? No big deal. Until they mentioned or they announced day one. When they announced day one, the value of Game Pass shot through the roof. Me as a businessman, right? But it doesn't take someone with a business degree to figure out that is a bad decision business wise. But it's good for the gamer. Okay, it's good for the gamer. That's a big value for the gamer. But for business, it's not going to work. Why? It's because you're competing against yourself. Okay? You're competing against yourself. And again, I was told that I didn't know what I was talking about. Blah, 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 blah. I was like, okay, we're going to sit back and watch and just listen. And just watch and listen, okay? How things shape up. And we saw the end result of that. Hardware sales went through. So, will Game Pass survive the night? All right, well, we just got to sit back and watch. But anyways, I was still thinking to myself, I'm like, this is still not going to work. And then when they announced that they were going to put games on other platforms or just play anywhere, now that's still good. However, how long is it going to stick to the wall? Is it going to stick for a long period of time? I was thinking to myself, I don't know. Just have to sit back and watch. Phil Spencer been with the company since 1988. So I was right about that. So I'm not surprised at this moment No one should be surprised at the moment that he's retiring. Uh, Again, I did do a live stream and I did mention that if Bill Spencer was to retire within 5 to 10 years, I have to go back and find that live stream. 5 to 10 years, I would buy 10 people, 10 people the next Xbox. And here we are. So I win, but I gotta find that live stream. Sarah Bond out? Are you serious? I was thinking Sarah Bond would be replacing, Phil Spencer on the Microsoft gaming side. She would move up, right? And then you have Matt Booty. You could take him and move him to head up the Xbox side of the house, but that doesn't seems to be what is stated here. So this is nuts, man. So Asha Sharma, she joined the company in 2024. Second, just to say, second, the return of Xbox. What does that mean? What do you mean return of Xbox? We will recommit to our core Xbox fans and players. So what does that mean? Are they going to go back to exclusives? Because they did give up their exclusivity a while back. So will they go back to exclusives? And those who have invested in us for the past 25 years and to the developers, because I'm pretty sure shareholders were like, dude, this is not it. And then recently, Microsoft earnings came out, and man, their hardware was deep in the red. Well, yeah, it was in the red. I was like, holy cow, man. So how are you going to fix that with the new Xbox hybrid that's coming out next year, whatever, or that's rumored to come out next year? That's not going to fix the issue at all. And if it's going to be a premium console, I don't know. I don't know if a lot of people are going to want to shed out that much money if everything else is the status quo. I'm like, dude, I don't need to buy your premium console if I can still have Game Pass day one in Game Pass on any platform. I don't need to purchase your next Xbox. I have it right here. So all I need is a controller and a TV. As long as the TV the TV has the Game Pass, I can play my games. But oh man, this is insane.
Players across the world. We will celebrate our roots with a renewed commitment to Xbox, starting with console, which has shaped who we are. Third, future of play. We are witnessing the reinvention of play. To meet the moment, we will invent new business models and new ways to play by leaning into what we already have. Iconic teams, characters, and worlds that people love. But we will not treat those worlds as static IP to milk and monetize. As monetization and AI evolve and influence this future, we will not chase short-term efficiency or flood our ecosystem with soulless AI slop. Games are and always will be art crafted by humans and created with the most innovative technology provided by us. Finally, Xbox...
That's BS. That's BS. AI is going to be a huge part of the Xbox brand moving forward, and especially when it comes to gaming, game development. So, I mean, there's these developers has to be sitting down right now, learning how to use that technology, because AI right now it's pretty much the staple, because a lot of people got fired or laid off. A lot of developers got removed um, from Microsoft, so they knew exactly what they were doing. And I mean, you can give me the political BS all you want to, or you can give me the PR all you want to. We know exactly what's going on. So they're going to be using AI technology to build games moving forward. And it's going to be a whole lot easier to do so. And if you have the right developers in the seat, the coding is going to be very simple. You just type in, do, 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 do. AI builds it, right? There you go. So what she's saying is we're not going to flood with AI slop. That doesn't mean that they're not going to flood with AI. It's just not going to be slop. So AI is the thing moving forward. Holy cow. Holy, this is interesting. Man.
Game Studios head Matt Booty is being promoted to Chief Content Officer and will work closely with Sharma. Spencer will remain in an advisory role through the summer. He was named head of Xbox in March of 2014 when he was tasked with writing a ship that had made a number of product choices and policy decisions that rubbed core gamers the wrong way in the run-up to the launch of the Xbox One in fall 2013. His first major move when put in charge was decoupling the Kinect 2.0 peripheral from the Xbox One package, thus immediately reducing the new console's price by $100 to $399, matching the day one price of Sony's PlayStation 4. He spearheaded the much heralded backwards compatibility movement within Xbox, and the Xbox Game Pass service was born under his watch. Spencer's time running Xbox will perhaps be most remembered for Microsoft's $69 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard King in 2022, which took almost 2 years to achieve regulatory approval from various agencies around the world. This is a huge story that we'll be following in the weeks ahead here at IGN. Ubisoft boss Yves Guillemot has been questioned over the future of his company.
Now, with that being said, holy cow. Ooh, I wonder what Xbox fans are thinking right now. You know, I wonder what the diehards are just. This is let's see what's going on here, man. Let's. Holy cow. Let's see what people are talking about.
Breaking gaming news as Phil Spencer is set to retire from his position at Xbox and Sarah Bond resigns while Matt Booty gets a promotion. I'm going to read through their addresses and the announcement just very quickly for you to get the information to you as fast as possible. I will give some of my preliminary thoughts at the end, and we will probably be discussing this in a live show coming after the weekend. So here's the announcement from Phil Spencer himself. He says, last fall I shared with Satya that I was thinking about stepping back and starting the next chapter of my life. From that moment, we aligned on approaching this transition with intention, ensuring stability and strengthening the foundation that we've built. Xbox has always been more than a business. It's a vibrant community of players, creators, and teams who care deeply about what we build and how we build it. And it deserves a thoughtful, deliberate plan for the road ahead. They announced the new CEO right here. Today marks an exciting new chapter for Microsoft Gaming as Asha Sharma steps into the role of CEO, and I want to be the first to welcome her to this incredible team. Working with her over the past several months has given me tremendous confidence. She brings genuine curiosity, clarity, and deep commitment to understanding players, creators, and the decisions that shape our future. We know that this is an important moment for our fans, partners, and team, and we're committed to getting it right. I'll remain in an advisory role through the summer to support the smooth handoff. So that's obviously good news for anybody that likes Phil and thought that he was sort of like the heart and soul of Xbox all these years, is that he is going to stick around in that advisory role through the summer. Now, her background, I believe, is outlined here, where she comes from. Yes, this is the thing that I thought was interesting. She's the former VP of Product and Engineering at Meta and the former Instacart CEO. So being product and engineering at Meta, I'm not sure if that's really going to change sort of the outlook about hardware and consoles, because they do mention some of that here in a brief moment. She talks about the thing that she's most committed to. I think the most important part is what she says right here, like the second thing she's going to do, because the first thing's about like characters and iconic franchises and all that. We know a lot of this is like fluff speak about games, but I thought this was interesting. She said, second, the return of Xbox. We will recommit to our core Xbox fans and players, those who have invested with us for the past 25 years, and to the developers who build the expansive universes and experiences that are embraced by players across the world. We will celebrate our roots with a renewed commitment to Xbox, starting with console, which has shaped who we are. It connects us to the players and fans who invest in Xbox and to the developers who build ambitious experiences.
So this is telling me that, you had shareholders in the room. You had Phil Spencer. You had Sarah Bond. You had Satya Nadella, whatever his name is. You had all the important people in the room, okay? And Nadella was like, it ain't working out. It ain't working out, okay? Our earnings have come out, and all I've seen was a steady decline. Decline. Now, they're not going to say that out in the open to the public unless he actually does it, right? Because I'm pretty sure there's going to come a time where someone's going to want to interview him and ask him questions in regard to the Xbox brand. So they're all sitting in the boardroom. Phil, I appreciate you. I love you. But this ain't working out, man. It ain't working out. Okay? It's not sticking anymore. Right? Earnings come out. We're in the red when it comes to hardware. Right? Software, we're good. Fine. We're putting our games on other platforms. Great. Fine. We have a model in place. Now, but for the long term, is this going to stick to the wall? It's not. It's not. So we need change. We need to make change. Okay. All right. Cool. Well, I'm out. Because the shareholders are also speaking and sharing their thoughts and opinions like, yo, what is going on here, man? I'm not going to be, over here scratching my head for, long periods of time, questioning what is going on at Xbox or what is going on at Microsoft. What are we doing? What's going on? Okay. And then you see the shares, they slip as well. And I'm like, holy cow, dude, that's a huge drop, right? So there has to be change. Now we have our man Phil Spencer retired. Like, you know what? I set you guys up. Here you go. I'm out. I'm done. Again, now Sarah Bond resigning. She's like, oh, she's probably sat at the table like, man, this man, I'm out. If y'all going to do this or you're going to go this route, I'm out. Deuces. Peace. So that is a huge blow. That part of it is unexpected. I didn't see that one coming. As far as Phil Spencer retiring, fine. Sarah Bond resigning, oh crap. Matt Booty, whatever. So, second, again, just like my man was saying, the return of Xbox. What does that mean? Okay? And then she says, we will recommit to our core Xbox fans and players. So what does that mean? So are they going to take the current model right now and take a look at what has worked in the past and add to it? Or we can just come out and say, okay, Are they going to go back to exclusivity? Okay, because there was a lot of diehard Xbox fans out there that was like, what are we doing? Why are we giving up our exclusivity? Why are we giving the competition the leg up? We shouldn't be doing that. And they have a valid. I mean, those Xbox gamers have a valid stance. So this is going to be very interesting moving forward to see how this Ashar, whatever her name is, um, approaches and moving the Xbox brand forward into the future. And it's almost like she's saying what you guys have done did not work. Get out of here. I have a better vision. And we're going to do it this way. Okay? And I don't know, to each their own how they interpret it, but let's continue.
Is for it. I'm not going to get ahead of myself here. I don't know if Xbox is going to really come back to being super focused on having the console as this central identity and piece of the brand. They seemingly have completely jettisoned that from the picture as they focus on publishing and being more about Xbox Anywhere and no need for a console. But this is being hailed as the return of Xbox, which is very interesting phrasing, as well as starting with console. Like, the thing that we've been hearing about with Project Magnus is that it's not going to really be a console, but some sort of a PC hybrid. So I don't know if her having kind of the background in product and engineering and things like that is going to make her bring something different to the table. She says gaming now lives across devices, now within the limits, not within the limits of any single piece of hardware. As we expand across PC, mobile, and cloud, Xbox should feel seamless, instant, and worthy of the communities we serve. We will break down barriers so developers can build once and reach players everywhere without compromise. Now, this seems to, again, reaffirm what we've been hearing from them all of this time. So when she says this is the return of Xbox, and they're sort of pushing on that commitment, what is an Xbox? I mean, she's making it seem like, well, the barriers aren't really there anymore. So I don't know if I would read too much into this, y'all. I mean, it does sound like they want to sort of reaffirm, reassert, and reestablish who they are as a brand. When I first saw that she was announced as the CEO of Microsoft Gaming, I was like, are they getting rid of the idea of Xbox as a name? Is it just going to be Microsoft Gaming? She doesn't seem to be indicating that, but she does seem to be indicating that the expanding across all platforms is more important, which likely then will lead to not really circling the wagons and reestablishing like an amazing bespoke piece of hardware like a console. It's going to be a PC. They're focused on that expansion of Windows. She talks about the future of play and all of that, and talking about we're witnessing the reinvention of play to meet the moment. We will invent new business models and new ways to play by leaning into what we already have: iconic teams, characters, and.
Okay, so I'm gonna touch on this. You have to be very, very careful, and what I'm talking about here when she says we will invent new business models, and new ways to play by leaning into what we already have. You have to be very, very, very careful with that because you don't want to saturate that brand. Okay, creating it, because it has to make sense, right? It has to connect because you already you went from one business model to another business model on a steadily decline. Okay, if not a drop off. Because I'm not going to sit here and say Xbox has dropped off the map. They have not. They have lost their identity over time. And I've even mentioned that when there were interviews happening with, the execs at the round table, I'm like, Phil Spencer shouldn't be speaking whatsoever. Okay, he should be out the way and allows Sarah Bond, Matt Booty, and others speak on the brand, because there were times you will sit and listen to Phil Spencer and be like, dude, what are you talking about? To me, it doesn't connect with what you're talking about here, because we're not blind. I can see, dude. I'm like, yo, I don't know about that, right? Come on, man. So I all this right here, just like he mentioned, this is just fluff. This is just that normal PR talk that we hear all the time. So now it's time for Xbox to show up if they want to remain in that gaming space, or they're just gonna go. Oh man, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I don't think the next console is going to. I don't. And here's the reason why I don't think it's going to work, right? Because Sarah Bond is resigning. So there had to be something there for her to resign. There had to be something there which she did not like or she did not want to hear. And she just said, you know what, I'm done. Because the console is supposed to come out next year, right? If I'm not mistaken. So all the effort and the energy that she put into, you know, talking about the next generational console and what Xbox is doing moving forward, this is not matching up to what she's talking about. To me, it's not matching up because it is fluff. It's PR talk. So, and you're gonna add new business models into that? That doesn't make any sense. I would focus, to me personally, I would focus on what we have right now and how we can make that better. First, you want to listen to your fans, listen to your audience, listen to your base and what they want. Listen to your shareholders. Listen to your shareholders as well. Those are the individuals that should be at the round tables. At the round table, I can't even talk. The shareholders and the gamers. Listen to them. If they want exclusive games, give them exclusive games. Period. I'm telling you, make great games. Make great games. Period. Because you can't continue to saturate stuff. I mean, models that haven't worked. It's not working. So don't add stuff to it. I mean, you can add new business models later, but if you want to recommit to your core base, reach out. Reach out and allow your shareholders, your investors and shareholders, allow the gamers to give their input. Because this is not working. It's not going to work, dude. And I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to watch. And I'm not going to be the one to say that I told you so. Because here we are. And I'm going to say it. Hey, I told you so. when it comes to Phil Spencer, I mean, it shouldn't be a shocker at all. All right, I'm going to go to the chat. Slavon said, something tells me they do not know themselves what it would be. It's cut off there, so I have to open up the chat. I can't read what you said there. Bring back exclusives. Yes. When that announcement was made in the way it was made, me personally, I was like, I think that's a bad move. It is a bad move, a bad business decision, especially when you have competition, right? And you want to remain in that space. And then putting your games, putting your big titles on other platforms, I get it, I understand. However, you have to say, wait a minute, let's not do too much, right? Let's not do too much. I know you want to test the waters and see how it flows, right? But still, gamers, gamers, they gamers play what they like to play. So it doesn't matter if you want to take all your exclusives and put them on other platforms. Doesn't really mean that those games are going to sell because gamers like what they like to play. So you have to be you just oh man. All right, let's keep going.
Worlds and people that people love, but we will not treat those worlds as static IP to milk and monetize. We will build a shared platform and tools that empower developers and players to create and share their own stories. Obviously, this starts to feel like leaning into some of that like metaverse stuff that Fortnite's done with creative and the explosion of Roblox, seeing that as a new avenue for money. She says, as monetization and AI evolve and influence this future, we will not chase short-term efficiency or flood our ecosystem with soulless AI slop. Games are and always will be art, crafted by humans and created with the most innovative technology provided to us. Okay, so they clearly know that the AI slop stigma that Satya Nadella didn't really help with whenever he spoke to this recently about how they need to move beyond that phrasing. It didn't look so good, and Microsoft trended. She is speaking directly to that. Like, we are not going to do that. The only thing they've spoken to specifically with that was like they were going to use AI for like bringing back old games. So Booty says here in his email, he's excited to partner with Asha as our next CEO. Our first conversation centered on her commitment to making great games and the role that plays in our overall success. She asks questions, pushes for clarity, and wants our choices grounded in player and developer needs. That mindset matters as the industry around us is changing quickly, how players engage, how games are made, and how the business model and platforms evolve. I'm actually kind of surprised that Booty is sticking it out. I mean, that promotion must be pretty sweet. He's actually been promoted to a new position. We've got good reasons to believe in what's ahead. This organization and its franchises have navigated change for decades, and our strength comes from teams who know how to adapt and keep delivering. That confidence is grounded in a strong pipeline of established franchises, new bets we believe in, and clear player demand for what we're building. I don't expect much from Booty. It's always very like corpo speak. So Phil Spencer is being classified as retiring. Okay, Booty has been promoted. I believe they speak to Sarah Bond is actually stepping down. She's resigning, which I found incredibly interesting because we thought they were sort of setting her up to be the replacement. So here's the statement here about what's happening. As part of this transition, Sarah Bond has decided to leave Microsoft to begin a new chapter. Sarah has been instrumental during the defining period for Xbox, shaping our platform strategy, expanding Game Pass and cloud gaming, supporting new hardware launches, and guiding some of the most significant moments in our history. I'm grateful for her partnership and the impact she's had, and I wish her the very best in what comes next. Okay, here's the crazy part about this, to me, is that this entire time, we have seen Sarah Bond as sort of being the next sort of flagship for the brand. They're going to hand things to her. She's got the look, she's got the feel, she's got the vibe, she does a great job at the showcases, and many of us started thinking that they were really going to kind of throw her under the bus, with how things were going and hardware slowing down and not seeing great results from all their efforts with ABK and the acquisition and not seeing good results with Call of Duty recently. I think the concern was, Phil was going to exit. She was going to be left holding a burning building, which is essentially what got handed to Phil when he took over. And it sounds to me like she either got wise to that or just thought, I don't want to be a part of this. Like when she came on board, maybe there was a very different vision and a very different idea about where things were going and how things were going to turn out. So her resigning, to me, I actually think this is trouble. And I know people are going to think, oh, you're doomsdaying. This is pretty significant. Funny enough, we just covered what I thought was pretty negative, which was PlayStation.
And you know what? I'm going to share the same sentiment with what he just stated here, because if you really look at it, even though Phil Spencer is going to stay on through the summer, you're losing a vital piece, to the brand. And that's Sarah Bond. Like she's been there. She's part of the heart and soul of that team. So I it's it's hard to, as an Xbox gamer, to see what's going on here, or to witness what's going on here, and you're like, man, what's gonna happen next? You know, I mean, what does Xbox, what's, oh man, how's this going to look moving forward when you have the next generation coming out next year? This is not good, especially for shareholders, for those who actually invest in the ecosystem. So it's not about, I mean, it's not about being a doomsayer, whatever. It's about what's happening right now. This is reality. This is happening. So you have that right as a gamer, as an Xbox fan, to question this. Like, yo, what took place in the boardroom? What's been going on behind the scenes for the past few years? You know? What are the conversations like when the execs get into the boardroom? Because it has to be just that, different from what we see when they come out and do their showcases or they do their interviews, because majority of the interviews are the same. It's the same stuff. You know? I'm like, okay, and it doesn't matter, Sony does the exact same thing. Okay? And I'm pretty sure they have their issues right now. All right, so we're just gonna start with him. Let's go back and see who else is talking. I don't normally listen to Tyrone Magnus.
What? Phil Spencer retiring. Sharma named new Xbox boss. Exclusive. Coming straight from IGN. Spencer's run with Xbox ends just months shy of brand's 25th anniversary. Microsoft CEO Phil Spencer, who has been at Microsoft since he joined as an intern in 1988. Wow. And the Xbox, and with
Xbox, I think that the first Xbox came out in 2001.
Its first console in 2001.
Yep.
Is retiring. Sources familiar with the matter, who are not authorized to speak publicly, confirmed to IGN Spencer's retirement is effective on Monday, February 23rd. Okay. Meanwhile, Xbox President Sarah Bond, long thought by many, both inside and outside of Microsoft, to be Spencer's heir apparent, has resigned. Makes me wonder if things are not going well, like just butting of heads at the top. The new CEO of Microsoft Gaming will be Asha Sharma, currently the president of Microsoft's core AI product. Finally, Xbox Studios head Matt Booty is being promoted to chief content officer. What we do and how we do it. Full emails and thinking about stepping back and starting the next chapter of my life from that
fast forward.
Today marks an exciting news that's given me a tremendous confidence to bring hand off. Over here. Should I try Microsoft?
All right. Like I said, I don't normally listen to him as much as I do others. Let's see. I wonder. Marlon, he's just, I'm pretty sure he's gonna rant. he's gonna rant. I can almost guarantee. Once I click on this video, he's going to be on fire.
Yeah. You're losing money
What I
in
tell
the process. Every title you greenlit that ends up failing, money gone. And then while the money is gone and stuff like that, then now you're gonna have.
Look. I can understand the passion when it comes to gaming. I have love for the boy Marlon, but sometimes he can go on and on and on and on. I'm like, yo, we got you. We get it. We understand how you feel. You don't need to express it that much, man, because now it's just too much. Okay. All right. So I'm not even gonna do that. I wonder what let's. I wonder what Colt Eastwood. Oh wow. No. They're playing video games. I wonder what the diehards are actually saying. What's my guy's name? Destin.
Just over 1 year ago, I asked Phil Spencer about the idea of retirement as he was approaching retirement age. Today, his retirement has been announced via an email from Satya Nadella, Phil Spencer himself, and many others commented. The leadership shakeup is going to be happening across the board, with Sarah Bond also leaving the company, Matt Booty stepping into a new role, and a new person arriving on the team to lead Xbox going forward. Let's go over everything we just learned.
Is he reading from a... It's like he was reading from
This
a
is happening
teleprompter
in
or
the
something.
moment, and it's going to be a long video, so buckle up because there have been a ton of emails sent out today and a ton of coverage about this already. So we're going to be going through Satya Nadella's email and a few others, which I have received from and characters in entertainment, and bring players and creators together. Xbox should
No, we're not doing
and
that.
have
What are
the
your
patience
thoughts?
to see it through. We have done this before, me into this journey, Asha. There were several times I wanted to stop reading that. I am reading these for the first time, by the way, just so y'all know. I really like the spirit of that email. I'm going to follow that ambition and those goals with a lot of interest.
What? Okay. All right. Cool.
Here's Matt's email. I read Phil's note with much gratitude. He has been a steady companion for game creators and our studio teams, and I've learned so much from his leadership over the years. All our games have benefited from his foundational support. I'm also grateful to Satya for his ongoing commitment to gaming and holding a vision of how it can connect back to the larger company. Looking forward, I'm excited to partner with Asha as our next CEO. Our first conversation centered on her commitment to making great games and the role that plays in our overall success. She asks questions, pushes for clarity, and wants our choices grounded in player and developer needs. That mindset matters as the industry around us is changing quickly, how players engage, how games are made, and how business models and platforms evolve. We have good reasons to believe in what's ahead. This organization and its franchises have navigated changes for decades, and our strength comes from teams who know how to adapt and keep delivering. That confidence is grounded in a strong pipeline of established franchises, new bets we believe in, and clear player demand for what we are building. My focus is on supporting the teams and leaders we have in place and creating the conditions for them to do their best work. To be clear, there are no organizational changes underway for our studios. Thanks for everything you do for players, and for each other, Matt. That's the entirety of all the emails. This is happening right now in the moment. I'm going to go and I'm going to collect all the details that we learned today and do a second follow-up video, but those are the core details you need to know. To recap, Asha is now taking over for Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer is retiring, but will remain in an advisory role through next summer. Sarah Bond is also moving on to a new chapter, and Matt Booty was promoted and will be heading up the games division. Asha's email was very, very interesting, and I can't wait to hear more. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell if you like my content. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I do.
Sorry, guys. I have to get a new gaming chair. I'm tired of this squeaking. Ooh.
Well, I suppose this is about as breaking as news can get. Phil Spencer is retiring from Xbox. And not just Phil Spencer. Same goes for Sarah Bond. And we'll build a shared platform and tools that empower and always will be art. In a time when Satya Nadella, the true head honcho of all of Microsoft, is constantly fangirling over the potential of AI and how AI is the future and whatnot, and their constant intentions to shove more AI into Windows, whether we like it or not. It feels like we're headed in that direction with Xbox, and Asha Sharma is kind of a Microsoft plant with an Xbox to that end. Like, I don't know if I'm delving into the realm of conspiracy theory here, and understand this is purely speculation and conjecture, but I've seen just the same kinds of statements that basically try to present everything as nothing will change, we still want to make the best products to adhere to the fans of this platform, and it feels like the goal here is to stave off any panic that there are any ill intentions with Xbox by implementing Asha Sharma as the head of Xbox Gaming. But that very decision immediately raises red flags, especially with her complete inexperience with not only Microsoft, but also Xbox as a whole. The only way this choice makes sense is if you look at Satya Nadella's recent push for AI, because otherwise you'd think someone more qualified who is more experienced with the Xbox field and the gaming field would be the one who'd be put in charge of Xbox. Now, right now, information is very sparse, and no doubt we'll learn more as the hours and days go by, and I'll report back on everything, but this is breaking news that I felt the need to relay as soon as I saw it, because this has major implications for what the future might hold for Xbox, and I'm hearing the right words, I'm seeing the right words from these statements, but I've just seen enough of these kinds of statements that never end up panning out, and whatever initial direction a company promised to go towards, that
it's PR fluff, dude. It's over and over and over again. These companies say the same thing. So whenever there's a change of guard, it's the same. It's like, hey, here's what I said. You can edit, change, and then you can put out your little emails or video, whatever you want to do, however you want to do it. So it's going to be interesting to see what Xbox do moving forward with the new staff. And I have to give Phil Spencer his flowers. You know, he came back, he came in, and he did a really, really good job. To me personally, he did a really, really good job with Xbox in setting it up for success. You know, despite the Xbox One era to now, I still to this day believe that day one for Game Pass was not a good business move. Not a good business move. good for the player, good value for the player, but not a good business move at all. I believe they should have kept their exclusivity and remained in that competitive space with Sony, PlayStation, and Nintendo, or whoever that decides to come into the market. I get it. I know. I understand change, but sometimes, that change can, be the downfall if it's not understood. The vision and direction is not understood clearly. I can get on here and give you PR all day long, but it's the product that I give you that has to connect with that. It has to connect with the PR. And if it doesn't connect, then there's going to be a lot of hands raised like, yo, what's going on here? Again, especially with the investors and especially with the gamers. We all have witnessed, we all have witnessed, Xbox over the years. And we know what it is at this very moment. So I am, I feel like somebody's behind me or something. What the hell's going on? I'm going to remain optimistic. I hope Ashaya, I think that's her name, comes in, because I was also thinking at the same time, does she really have any experience? Does she know the Xbox brand, right? That's remained to be seen moving forward, how she's going to take it. I mean, you can give me all the bouquet of words you want, but as an Xbox gamer, I need you to show up now. You're going to have to show up, or it's not going to work. Okay? That's just my thoughts on it. I'm trying not to be too much up under that bias umbrella, but to each their own, to each their own. So I'm rooting for the Xbox brand to be successful. Congratulations to Phil Spencer on his retirement. It's well deserved. Move on and do bigger and better things, going into a new chapter of his life. I'm still a little disappointed with the whole Sarah Bond piece of it. I was thinking the same thing. Maybe she would be promoted into that position, and maybe like a Matt Booty or somebody move into the Xbox segment and take over from there. So AI. I don't believe what Asharia, whatever her name is, I'm sorry, forgive me, is saying with the AI slop, because Microsoft has laid off so many people, and AI is running rampant right now. It's definitely running rampant, and once you have the right people learning that technology, you can build games moving forward with AI. Do a little coding, put a little words here and there, and it builds the game for you. So I don't see, I don't know. I don't know, guys. Whatever your thoughts on this, I respect it. I respect your opinions and thoughts. These are just my opinions and thoughts on this. And it is what it is. I'm pretty sure Sony is having issues as well. But this is not about Sony at the moment. So, man, oh man, this is. I wouldn't say it's. I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't. I don't know, man. I wouldn't say it's panic time. I wouldn't say it's panic time until we receive news of stating, oh, the next Xbox has been delayed. Or we get something, oh, the next Xbox is not coming out now. We have changed course. That's when gamers need to start panicking. The Xbox diehards, because that would not be good at all. Like, because the expectation, hey, we continue to fight, right? And be a part of that space. It's crazy. What do you guys think, man? If anyone's here and you have any thoughts, man, please share in the chat. What do you think? What are your thoughts around it? Or do you even care? Yes, bring back exclusives, man. I now, and this is another thing. When I talked about Phil Spencer speaking in interviews, you have to be careful what you say and how you say it, because it can come back to haunt you. And when you're making statements like the plan is to recommit. So I'm like, okay, so what does that mean? Because I have questions. Are you going to bring back exclusive? Are you guys going to revisit what worked in the past and mold it into these new business models that you're talking about? But stay in the course with what you're actually doing right now. Because I wholeheartedly believe Xbox shot themselves in the foot when it came to day one. They did. They really did, dude. And now you have the issue with Call of Duty, the whole ABK deal. Did they make their money back on that? I'm pretty sure they made their money back with that deal. But now that Call of Duty is having issues and they put out a Call of Duty every year, how do you sustain that moving forward? You know, I don't know. This is crazy. All right. So we're gonna move on from that. Now, shout out to D Nice. He did send me a message on Resident Evil Requiem. Yes, I know the game has been leaked. I am staying away from any leaks. The game comes out, I believe, next week. I'm gonna go in and play the game myself. I don't even want to touch it. I don't even understand how, Capcom allowed this to happen. Because they need to take a page out of Nintendo's book. Because Nintendo do not play around with their IPs. Okay? Capcom, they need to do the same. A lot of these developers, third party, second party, even first party need to do the exact same. Like, look, if you leak our stuff, we're coming after you. Period. And it's sad when you have individual. It's well, I'll put it like this: to each their own. If the leaks come out, it behoove you to stay away from the leaks if you don't want to be spoiled. If you want to be spoiled, then go ahead and watch the leaks. But I do think these companies need to crack down on that. And like, yo, let's not do that, because what that can do, that can hurt sales. Because people can go in and watch those leaks and be like, you know what? I changed my mind. I'm not going to pick up this game. So now, these companies have to deal with that. So I look forward to next week when that game comes out. I'm excited for it. Hope you guys are excited for it as well. So, well, it is, 1:35 a.m. in the morning. I'm going to try to get some sleep. Appreciate you guys. Those of you who stopped in at this time to hear me, blah, 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 blah. But I'm going to check out some more tomorrow and, get others' thoughts and opinions on this surprising news. Oh man. And then I have to find that live stream. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna see. I'm just gonna have to look for it, because I know there was a live stream that I did, and I put out a challenge. I don't know where it is. I have no clue where it is. I know it was way, way back when. But I want to make sure that I'm correct, though, because I'm pretty sure I said 5 to 10 years that Phil Spencer was going to retire. He was going to set everything up, and then he was going to bounce. And if he did not retire within 5 to 10 years, because there were some gamers that were out there like, Phil Spencer is there for the long haul. He's going to be there forever. And I don't know, man. I'm going to have to look for it. Maybe it's this one. I don't know. But it might be this one. The mic now, and I'm going to hit the play button.
Be feature incomplete or have some technical issues, or just simply give it more.
I got to be honest with you. That is a very, very, very good.
You're a friend of mine, Jeff.
And to kind of start transitioning this into hopefully more happy news, but I do want to address
where is this guy?
something,
I haven't seen him in a while.
Obviously today you announced the Xbox Game Showcase, which will be happening this June, and obviously there's going to be a lot of new reveals and surprises that come out of that, which is great. But I am going to bring it back again to another common theme that I do hear through the community, and I've actually said this to you in the past, but it's about communication coming from Xbox. I do feel back in 2021, you did a fantastic job with communication, which arguably has been the best year during this current generation of Xbox. Obviously, we know that 2022 was a light year for Xbox as far as releasing titles. Now, last year, during the showcase, you had the 12-month plan. You didn't necessarily deliver on all the games coming.
No, we didn't deliver. Not necessarily. We didn't deliver.
Absolutely. So my point of bringing that up is this, talking about some of the lessons learned that come out of that, and obviously even with not every game making the 12 months, going back to, again, game development, things happen, things aren't always going to come on time. But as we go into this showcase, one of the common themes that I hear is, I don't know enough about things that you've announced in the past, like even more specifically going back to 2020. And I'll just run down a quick list of it. Vowed, Perfect Dark, Everwild, which is something we really don't know that much about. Fable, State of Decay 3, Contraband. Obviously, we've seen a little more in Hellblade 2. We have studios like In Exile and Compulsion Games that we know are working on things, but we haven't seen any real updates on that. So I titled all my questions Balance and Communication, because even in this, it's like, what is that balance on when you show something that is going to be years down the road, and kind of that cadence of providing updates along the way. And obviously, as we go into this showcase, not that you need to reveal anything specific here, but what were some of those lessons learned from last year's showcase that you'll bring into this one?
Yeah, and you might try to get me on positive. I'm not in positive mode this week, so I'll apologize for staying in kind of cranky mode. But in terms of lessons learned, and I'll even go back to the Redfall videos on IGN of showing videos of the game running at 60 on PC, at the point knowing that the game was going to run 30 frames per second at launch on console. Like, we have to be transparent about what we're showing, that what we're showing is representative of what our console customer, our most committed customer to our brand, financially committed, what they're going to see, what they're going to play, and that transparency just has to get better. And I'm not pointing at anybody but myself, right? I guess at some point.
And that's what I'm talking about. I love it when an individual takes accountability. The buck stops with me. And then pointing any fingers. Hey, that's on me. Okay? But when you say that, you have to stand on business, right? Don't come out again and do the exact same thing. You continue to do the exact same thing. Like, yo, you just said this.
And I will have enough knocks against me that it's somebody else here. But that, I think it's transparency in what we're building, what our aspiration is for the game, what it's going to look like, what the features are. And it drives me crazy when we self-inflicted wounds of kind of putting things out there in communication that's confusing or misleading about what the actual end product is going to be. So you can try to take me to positive space. I'm just not in that headspace right now. That said, when I go and I look at Showcase, and I'm not going to try to oversell Showcase here, because if I were on the other side of watching this, it's like, hey, after Redfall, I'm going to put my hands on the controller, and that's what's going to take to kind of prove to me. But that's not what Showcase is. So I'm very enthusiastic about Showcase. We're going to announce some things that people haven't seen, some new games. We're going to give updates to some of the things that were on your list. The other thing that gets me really excited is when I look forward over the next quarters, which has always been my focus of how do we get a big game out every quarter at quality, that things are lining up finally after some of the slowdown through COVID. I'm tired of talking about that. But I can now see that we've got games coming every quarter that I think will surprise and delight our customers. We still have to deliver on the creative. We still have to deliver on the technical. Not every game we ship is for everybody. We know that. Like, I'm not trying to build the one game to rule them all. We will have different creative takes and we have a very diverse portfolio when you think about the stuff that Microsoft Game Studios builds. But I like that. I think for what we're trying to do as Xbox, which isn't to mimic any of the other platforms out there, create our own brand and identity, the diversity of what we build, hopefully will end up being a strength. But we have to do it at quality. We have to do it on time, and we have to show people what they're actually going to see. We have to show gameplay, and I think I'm kind of beyond that. Like, we've got to put great games in the hands of our players. There's nothing else.
If I could follow up on that, and I apologize, I do not want to dominate the conversation, but I make sure I want to follow up on the point of everything that you just said.
Now, I want you guys to remember what he just said. We have to put great games, unquote, great games in the hands of our players. We have to put great games. All right, we're done. We're done. That just brought back some memories. Again, I'll find that video and then I'll do a live stream tomorrow. All right, take care, guys, and I will see you tomorrow for another live stream. Peace, 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 peace.